Hey everyone, we need Christmas. Now today I want to talk about Jingle Bells and the power change. Now this one could be a little long one, maybe a 2-3-parter, we'll see how it goes. But there is a reason why Jingle Bells should have been canceled and yet is one of the most beloved songs ever. Got your interest, didn't I? Now look, Jingle Bells is my favorite non-Christmas song ever. I just have always loved Jingle Bells. Thing is, it really wasn't even a Christmas song. It kind of started as a campy, albeit slightly edgy song, just about taking a sleigh ride. Guys and girls going off in sleighs together. You can read into the text a little more and figure it out from there. That song was written in 1857 by a man named John Pierpont. This is where it starts to get a little dicey. Now, Pierpont was the uncle of the famous J.P. Morgan. If you don't know who he is, it was a pretty big deal. You ought to look him up. But John Pierpont himself was not the best of guys. But before I get into that, I want to point out a couple interesting facts about Jingle Bells. Number one, in 1889, he got recorded onto one of Edison's cylinders and is likely considered the first Christmas song that was ever recorded. Then it went even more high-tech. In 1965, a couple of astronauts were up in space, the Gemini 6, and it was around Christmas time, and they reported to Mission Control that they saw an unidentified object leaving the North Pole. They were going to try to get some audio from it. Well, in reality, they had sneaked aboard a harmonica and some bells, and they then performed Jingle Bells to Mission Control, making it not only the first Christmas song, but the first song ever performed from outer space. Now, getting back to the part where we're canceling, John Pierpont was not necessarily the nicest of guys. He kind of abandoned his wife and children at one point in Boston to go chase the gold rush. And then he came back and then quickly went down to Savannah, Georgia, looking for work, again, leaving his wife and children in Boston. And then at one point, his wife actually passed away, and he just left his children in Boston with their grandparents. Didn't seem to want any part of it. In Savannah, he was working as an organist at his brother's church. His brother was a pastor. Well, then the Civil War broke out. Well, his brother was a staunch abolitionist and ended up leaving, but not John. He not only stayed, he joined the Confederate Army. Oh, and he wrote a bunch of spirit songs for the Confederate Army as well. Oh, and I should also add the very first public performance of Jingle Bells was done by a minstrel troupe wearing blackface. Okay, so you can see why this should really be canceled, but it hasn't been, and I'm glad. Because when it comes down to it, a creation needs to stand on its own merits. It doesn't need to be judged by its author or by who initially performed it. If you read through Jingle Bells, yeah, it might be slightly edgy with the boy-girl thing, but there is nothing blatantly racist or anything about it. It's actually kind of a fun song, one that we all enjoy. And even though it wasn't a Christmas song, it kind of has been adopted of it and is actually considered the most popular Christmas song ever. So I think it's great because Christmas really represents a chance for renewal, a chance for a fresh start, a chance to forget all the bad things that have maybe been attached to us in the past and start over. This is my charge to you, to treat people that you run into this holiday season that way. Don't matter what their past was or what they were involved with in the past. Treat them on who they are now. Because we all change. We all come through things. We all evolve. And when we go through the pain to evolve, is it really fair to then be treated based on the way we were in the past? So keep that in mind this holiday season. Let's get out there and spread the holiday spirit because we need Christmas.